International Cat Groomers here, and welcome to today's Relax, It's Just Cat Grooming episode. Today I'm going to be talking about 3 questions that we get asked all the time about cat grooming and how to run a successful business doing it. So if you like today's video, make sure to hit the notifications button below so that you can get notified when we add content and video just like this to our page. So in today's episode, I'm going to be covering 3 questions. The first question is, how do I raise my prices as I improve my grooming skills? So this question gets asked a lot by our students through our syllabus program towards certification, because when they start off, they might be dabbling a little bit with cats, and then as they improve, they want to increase their prices along with their skill. The second question I'm going to be talking about is, but don't cats groom themselves? We get asked this all the time by cat owners. And so we want to make sure that you are equipped with the knowledge and tools so that you can speak with authority and become an expert in the eyes of your clients and potential clients. The third question I'm going to talk about is tear staining, the discoloration that happens in the eye area of Persians, Himalayans, and light and white colored cats. So the first question that I'm going to be talking about is, how do I raise prices as I improve my cat grooming skills? So the first thing you really need to establish is, why is it that your clients come to you as a grooming business? A lot of times clients will focus in on the specific types of differences between grooming businesses. Now, if you are not explaining those differences to your clients when they are seeking out new grooming services, then a lot of times they just go to one thing that they can tell is different between 2 businesses, and that's price. So you need to change the conversation to make sure that price is not the primary thing that clients are coming to your business over. So in my business, I do a lot to show my clients that I am an expert in all things cat grooming and even cats, because I also offer boarding. So I want to make sure that they know that I know what I'm talking about and that I'm an expert, and they seek me out specifically because of that. I also have a cat exclusive business, so that kind of sets me apart from a lot of other businesses as well, because most other businesses in my area are not cat only, so that sets me apart. Sometimes businesses can be set apart because they may be in a very convenient location. Say they're on a main street, or they have specific drop-off times or appointment times, or you do one-on-one. Whatever it is, there are specific reasons why your clients are coming to you. So if you have an established clientele, and unfortunately your clients are coming to you because of price, you're going to have quite a difficult time increasing those prices substantially from going to where you were kind of dabbling with cats and they were coming to you and you charged a lower rate, to I'm an expert and I want you to treat me like an expert, because those are 2 different clients, and changing a client is going to be a lot harder than starting them off on a good foot. So the best way that I can do it is that I want to show them that there's an increase in value in the types of services that their cat is getting, whether it is updating what is included in each of my service packages, or whether it's showing new skills and services in add-on packages like a de-shed or a comb cut. These can be ways that you can introduce services to clients, either as a free add-on to a first-time appointment, or if you're trying to increase a certain type of business over the long term, you might say, hey, let me go ahead and do a de-shed. It's free this time, and if you really like it, then we can add it on to her future appointments. And so a lot of times them seeing it is better than just you explaining it. So that's one idea, is to increase prices, is to focus more on add-ons. You can also just increase base prices in small increments over, say, 6 months to 2 years, where you're increasing kind of gradually. You can also do it where, you just say, my current clients are just not the people I want to be working with, but I don't want to cut them loose. So what you can do instead is kind of phase them out slowly and make sure that the new clients that are coming in are specifically the ones that you want to work with, and they are at the price point you want them to be at. And then gradually, as you replace the clients that are not a good fit, you have clients that you've already started off on a good foot with boundaries, with expectations, and with why they're coming to your business. So I hope those are kind of helping you on how to help raise your prices as you are improving your skills. Remember, it is very, very difficult to change a client base that has been getting a specific kind of service and you're kind of changing everything up on them without clear guidelines and boundaries. And sometimes that just means referring them to another business that may be a better fit. And that's okay. We're not here to try and groom every single animal under the sun in our area. That just would be physically impossible. So it's actually better for your business to really focus on the types of pets and the type of owners that you specifically want to work with. So the second question that I want to be discussing today is, but don't cats groom themselves? So I get asked this question a lot as a cat groomer, usually from people who have cats that in their opinion have never needed to see a groomer before. So I usually kind of jokingly talk to them about what I call, I don't groom cats, I groom the exceptions to the rule of don't cats groom themselves. And so when I start talking about all the exceptions to that rule, it includes cats with mats on their back, cats with severe mats all over, cats with mats that are so bad that they can't poop or they can't walk or they can't breathe because they're cutting off their airway. Or they have hairballs and they have to have emergency surgery to remove those hairballs because they have a blockage. Or they shed like crazy. Or you have someone in the house who has severe allergies and you need to do something to relieve those symptoms because it could kill someone. Or they have sharp or ingrown toenails and that can cause infection and wounds. Or they have poop stuck all over their butts and they're having irritated skin. Or they have fleas. Or they have another 100 of the problems that grooming can relieve. And so I usually start with those as, but don't cats groom themselves? And there are some cats that maybe they don't require as much grooming until they get older in life. But the problem then becomes is if we're waiting until the cat is very elderly and now we're trying to address grooming problems, then we have to look at stress as a huge factor into whether or not this groom is going to be successful. Because introducing something when the cat is young and before they have any problems is very different than trying to solve a big, huge, stressed out cat who is covered in mats, who's in pain, and who is not very well socialized. Those are two very different experiences. So I always say that I'm here to relieve a lot of problems, but it's also my responsibility to help make sure that those pets and these cats never have these problems in the first place. Wouldn't that be amazing if we never had cats get matted, if they never had bald spots and irritated skin from the mats pulling and ripping hair out, if they didn't have these hidden wounds underneath and skin irritations and open sores and, you know, big red irritated areas on their rear end because there's just a matted poop pancake stuck back there. Wouldn't it be amazing if that never happened? And so part of that and part of our work in that side of the cat owner's hemisphere is preventative maintenance and education. So I don't want to wait until cats are already in a big problem. I want to make sure that we're doing all these things in advance so that they get used to being handled by other people, they get used to the bathing process, the combing process, being handled, having their nails trimmed. You know, this is also really good for cats that maybe don't see their vet as frequently as they should be, to make sure that they're being handled and they're traveling and they're being in a carrier for things outside of just going to the vet when they're sick or going to having, you know, when there's a problem where they need to be jabbed with vaccines or having a test done or being knocked out for a medical procedure. Wouldn't it be amazing if the carrier was not a scary place, if the car was not a scary place, if seeing another pet professional wasn't something that was scary? So even though a lot of people say, but don't cats groom themselves, they really don't. They are just maintaining hair and skin and issues that we as humans have domesticated these animals to have and develop over time. They're not wild animals anymore, which means that they really do need our help in order to maintain those things and to have a long and comfortable life. So finally, the third question that I want to be talking about is tear staining. Again, that is the discoloration that usually happens right in the eye area of Persians, Himalayans, exotics, light colored cats, and solid white cats. You see a lot with that discoloration. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the difference between normal tear staining and abnormal discharge. So normal tear staining is clear or it's a clear brownish color. And that's pretty standard. I have 3 Persians myself. I technically have 2 Persians and 1 exotic short hair, but they all kind of get some sort of brownish clearest tear staining every once in a while if I'm not on top of cleaning it. So the discharge that's coming out, if it's clear or clear that's slightly tinted brown, that is normal and it would just need regular cleaning. Anything that's abnormal would be if it's solid, if it's getting overly kind of crusty, if it's red, if it is kind of a white or a greenish color, anything that's opaque instead of clear, that is usually a sign of a major problem, and that you should have it checked out by your vet. Also, if you're cleaning the area regularly, in between the times that you're cleaning it, the eye area itself should not be getting irritated. So I have a client the other day that is actually going to be seeing a specialist because specifically it's a Himalayan kitten, and the one area around his eye always seems to be irritated, even when she's not cleaning it, when he doesn't have a lot of crusties. So we have a feeling that something else is going on instead of just a little bit of the tearing. So next I want to talk about products. So really the main thing that you're going to be doing is cleaning the eye area regularly. That's really what you have to do. There is nothing magic, and unfortunately this video is not going to cover how to magically get rid of stains that are already there in one grooming appointment. It's just not feasible. Anything that's going to remove and strip out that kind of damage to a hair in one appointment is most likely not safe for that close to the eye area. So we don't want any bleaching products. We don't want anything that's going to irritate and strip out the hair so harshly, because the eye area is very delicate. So the main thing you need to focus on is prevention, and that means cleaning the area regularly. So typically with my standard grooming appointments, I will wipe out eyes and ears after I'm finished with the bath. So I have a little bottle that I fill up with saline solution. This can be found in the contact lens area of like pharmacies and grocery stores, but it is specifically called saline solution, and that's just a really, really gentle liquid that will help wipe away any kind of gunk or crusties that are there. And I also just tend to use standard cotton balls. You can also use a washcloth and just be very... So finally, the third question that I want to be talking about is tear staining. Again, that is the discoloration that usually happens right in the eye area of Persians, Himalayans, exotics, light colored cats, and solid white cats. You see a lot with that discoloration. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the difference between normal tear staining and abnormal discharge. So normal tear staining is clear, or it's a clear brownish color. And that's pretty standard. I have 3 Persians myself. I technically have 2 Persians and 1 exotic short hair, but they all kind of get some sort of brownish clearest tear staining every once in a while if I'm not on top of cleaning it. So the discharge that's coming out, if it's clear or clear that's slightly tinted brown, that is normal, and it would just need regular cleaning. Anything that's abnormal would be if it's solid, if it's getting overly kind of crusty, if it's red, if it is kind of a white or a greenish color, anything that's opaque instead of clear, that is usually a sign of a major problem, and that you should have it checked out by your vet. Also, if you're cleaning the area regularly, in between the times that you're cleaning it, the eye area itself should not be getting irritated. So I have a client the other day that is actually going to be seeing a specialist because specifically it's a Himalayan kitten, and the one area around his eye always seems to be irritated, even when she's not cleaning it, when he doesn't have a lot of crusties. So we have a feeling that something else is going on instead of just a little bit of the tearing. So next I want to talk about products. So really the main thing that you're going to be doing is cleaning the eye area regularly. That's really what you have to do. There is nothing magic, and unfortunately this video is not going to cover how to magically get rid of stains that are already there in one grooming appointment. It's just not feasible. Anything that's going to remove and strip out that kind of damage to a hair in one appointment is most likely not safe for that close to the eye area. So we don't want any bleaching products. We don't want anything that's going to irritate and strip out the hair so harshly, because the eye area is very delicate. So the main thing you need to focus on is prevention, and that means cleaning the area regularly. So typically with my standard grooming appointments, I will wipe out eyes and ears after I'm finished with the bath. So I have a little bottle that I fill up with saline solution. This can be found in the contact lens area of like pharmacies and grocery stores, but it is specifically called saline solution, and that's just a really, really gentle liquid that will help wipe away any kind of gunk or crusties that are there. And I also just tend to use standard cotton balls. You can also use a washcloth and just be very gentle to help kind of get that gunk away. The other product that I like to use is a product by a brand called Vetericyn, and it is an eye wash. And what I like about this product is that I can use it on cats that maybe don't get their eyes cleaned as often as they should. So when they come into me, they're a little bit gunkier, they're a little bit crustier. And if I was just to sit there and scrub with 6 cotton balls, then I'm going to irritate the skin around the eye, and I don't really want to do that because I don't want my cats to go home with irritated eyes. So what I really like is this Vetericyn eye wash is really fantastic because not only is it going to help to break up that gunk really gently, but it also helps to soothe the eye area. So it's not just red and irritated. This product does actually, it actually says on here, for irritated eyes suffering from burning, stinging, itching, irritations. And so this way it's going to help to clean, but it also is really good for around the eye. Now the one I'm holding has a cow on it, and it's because Vetericyn makes several versions of the eye wash, and so there's one for dogs, there's ones for cats, there's ones for livestock, for horses, but the company itself has assured me that it is all the same product. So I tend to buy the livestock one because it comes in the largest bottles at a time. The cat and dog ones are only about this big, and I use eye wash on every single cat that comes into me for cat grooming, so I tend to buy the larger bottles. So again, it is really all about preventative maintenance. So some cats, it might be once a week, some might be twice a week, and some might be daily that you need to just go in there and gently wipe away the gunk that comes out for tear stain. The final thing that I would recommend, especially for white cats, if they're having a lot of discoloration caused by the tearing, is to use kind of an eye powder. So there's different brands. This is just one that I grabbed. Davis makes a cover-up powder, Eye Envy makes a cover-up powder. In a pinch, you can even use something like cornstarch. The idea is that you're going to clean the eye area, so you've gotten all the excess tearing away. And now the real thing with prevention is to prevent the tearing from staining the hair. That's what it does. It seeps into the hair follicle and it stains it. That's why the hair gets all brown and discolored. So we need to prevent that from happening. So once you've cleaned the area, pat it dry with either a corner, a dry corner of a washcloth, another dry cotton ball, or even just a tissue. And then you're going to use a little tiny bit of eye powder with a fluffy makeup brush, like an eyeshadow brush. And you're just going to take a little bit of powder, tap off the excess, and you're just going to press it into the hair that is underneath the eye. And what this does is it helps to coat the hair follicle so that it can kind of be a barrier before the staining comes out and before it can seep into the hair follicle. So that's a really great way to kind of lengthen the time in between cleaning the eyes so that the staining doesn't kind of soak in and stain in the future. So once the hair is stained, you kind of just have to wait for it to grow out. So the key is really prevention of future stains. So that wraps up today's episode. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them below in the comments so that they can be addressed on a future episode of Relax, It's Just Cat Grooming. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.